Hi, this is Tom Painter, and welcome to the Success and Money Foundation. We're a nonprofit educational foundation, and our purpose today is to help you and your family have a better life. And today we're going to be talking about cash flow, and we're going to be doing an expanded cash flow clinic and introduce many of you to the Protege program, which is a big part of what we do in order to help people to be successful. So when you talk about the cash flow clinic, you talk about the foundation, our purpose is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. That is why we're here. That's why the foundation was created, was to help you and your family and friends to have a better life. And we do that by providing free success and money classes for anyone, anywhere. And just being part of the foundation, you're going to have access to these wonderful classes. We're big believers in multiple methods of learning. And one of those methods, of course, are books and online classes. And you're going to have access to all this wonderful stuff that we have available for you. And our job and our purpose is to help you have a better life. And we do that providing these free success money classes for anyone, anywhere. And we have three missions. Mission number one is to help those in need. So for every hour that you go to online classes, the foundation will provide eyeglasses, meals, or gallons of clean water to help those in need. That's our mission number one. Mission number two is to help you. Our goal is to help you get where you need to go. Now, we do that by providing financial rewards when you attend classes, online classes or live classes, and share with others. This is a big part of what we do. And these rewards are to be put into your investment account. Now, why investment account? Well, because the one thing that we know for sure is that when I've talked to adults, I ask, what's the one thing that you would do differently if you had a chance to do it? And they said, I would have liked to have started investing at an earlier age. People are saving, but they're not investing. We've got to get you to be an investor. We've got to make it so that you can make more money over a longer period of time. And your money's got to be able to grow. So that's why we're so aggressive into the investment accounts. Mission number three is to create an online platform. This wonderful platform so that you and your family and your friends, as well as schools, churches, and other groups can do this together, and you can attend these classes online together. So that's the purpose of the foundation, and that's why we're here. Now, one of the things that we want to do is we want to help you get started. My wife and I are the co-founders of the successandmoneyfoundation.org. We're a nonprofit educational foundation, a 501c3. Our purpose is to help you have a better life. My wife and I donated $3 million to the foundation. We did that with real estate and Warren Buffett stock. And as that makes money, we give that money away. That's what we call an endowment. The foundation is a group of people. We are a network of students and parents and teachers and best-selling authors and educators and entrepreneurs that are all dedicated to doing the same thing. As a network, our job is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. And we do that by providing free success and money classes for anyone, anywhere. We've got over 24,000 students all over the world. Those students have been online for over 170,000 hours. We have 3,000 students that have earned money from us that we've sent to them to start saving and investing. Now, you don't need us. We're just an extra conduit for you, but our purpose is to help you have a better life. You've gone through over 300,000 lessons. Now, when I think about financial freedom and success, I think about, well, who taught you? Where did you learn the things that you're learning? Did you have a mentor? Did you have a mentor that taught you about success and money? Well, you had your parents. Did you have an uncle or a grandpa or something like that taught you about that? Did you have a millionaire mentor? Well, probably not. Did you learn it in school? Did you take those classes in school? Now, it's not your fault. Wherever you are right now in your financial world, honestly, it's not your fault. Why can I say that? Because we didn't teach it to you. Now, I have theories of why it's not being taught. One of those theories is because they don't want you to know. Honestly, they don't want you to know. Your banker doesn't want you to know these financial secrets. Why? Because you're giving them money. You're putting money into your savings account, and they're taking your money, and they're making more money off of you. They don't want to pay you this money. They want you to put your money in there and leave it. Your credit card company is not telling you these secrets. Why? Because they want you to pay them 21% on your card. They want you to pay them all this interest. It's not in their benefit to do that. They're not, they're the enemy. Your mortgage company, when you pay a loan on your mortgage, you know what mortgage in French means till death. The mortgage company doesn't want you to be financially literate. They don't want you to make those payments too fast. They don't want you to pay off your house. Why? Because they're getting interest on you. I've got a friend that works for a credit union, and he told me that that credit union has $500 million sitting in savings accounts that they're paying people zero on. They're not paying them anything. And then they take that money and they go back out and loan it back to you at a higher rate. If you have $1,000 in your savings account and you owe $1,000 on your credit card, the bank is taking your money and loaning it back to you. The bank is taking your money and paying you nothing. They're paying you nothing. They're paying you zero. If they paid you 1%, which they're not, but if they did, 1 times 72 equals 72. It takes 72 years for your savings account to double in value. The bank is taking your money and loaning it back to you at 21% on your credit card. And they took your money and loaned it back to you. Well, 21 times 3.4 equals 72. So it simply takes 3.4 years for them to double their money. They're taking your money and they're making money off of you. Life's a game and games are fun. Finance is a game and games are fun. And I just want you to know it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you weren't taught these things. There's nobody that's looking out for you. Now, your parents do, your grandparents do, other people do, but the school's not, because it's supported by bankers and credit card companies and mortgage companies. They're not teaching this. And the theory is because they don't want you to know this. They really don't want you to know this because you're their customer. You are a cash register to them and they want to take your money. Now, that's terrible. Our goal is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. And we do that by providing free success and money classes to anyone anyway. We're a network. We're a group of people that are basically pretty ticked off. We're best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs. We're dedicated to help you. We're a group of parents and students and teachers and financial advisors because our goal is to help you have a better life. Now, we teach success and money principles. And there's all kinds of success secrets that you can do. The foundation was designed to help you have a better life. And we do that by studying successful people and to do what they do. Now, when you're successful, you're naturally going to be better off financially. Money is not the game. The game is to help you have a better life. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Cashflow Clinic. And my goal is to help you, give you a big overview and an in-depth about the Cashflow Clinic. And then I'm going to introduce you to a new program called the Protege program. Now, in the foundation, we're very big on different methods of learning, multiple methods of learning. So when you join the foundation, you have access to these wonderful online classes. You have access to some success and money classes. These classes are designed for you to be able to take them at any time. These classes are designed to spend 10 minutes at a time when you've got some time between different appointments and things like that. Our goal is to get you going and to learn. To learn, earn, and return. Learn, earn, and return. Those are the three things you're going to do your whole life. Your whole life. Now, when you're born, your birth date is on your headstone. And when you die, your day that you died is on that headstone. And there's a couple dots in between there. Those dots are what we're going to be talking about. Our goal is to help you do that. You're going to learn, you're going to earn, and you're going to return. Now, you didn't learn these things in school. You didn't take any classes on this stuff. You learned how to dissect a frog. Congratulations. You learned some algebra. You learned to play some sports, and you had a good time, and you chased girls or boys or whatever you did, and you did the same thing in college, but you didn't learn how to be successful, and you didn't learn how to manage money. Again, I got a theory. They don't want you to know it. They honestly don't. You're a cash register to them. And we can't change that right now. The Success and Money Foundation is going to make a big difference for you. Now, in the cash flow game, we're going to teach you the success about this. And our goal is to help you to have a better life. Now, just because you weren't taught this in school doesn't mean that now you can't go forward. It just means you got to learn from somebody else. You've been learning from the wrong teachers. We're going to bring you the right teachers. You've got to learn from successful people. Do what they do. Follow successful people and do what they do. Now, all successful people have a handful of things that they have in common, and they do these things religiously. Success is a series of daily victories. Success is a series of daily victories. It's not taking a pill once and you're successful. That's not the way it is. We're playing a game, and games are fun. And you play this game your whole life. The rich are doing something different than the poor. The rich are doing 7 steps. They're doing 7 habits, and they do it every day, and they're doing those 7 things. My goal for you is to help you have this better life. Now, I'm going to introduce some of you to the Protege program, and the Protege program is designed to help some of you that want another method of learning, an additional method of learning, and there is a tuition to go in there. Now, the tuition is a donation. The money doesn't go to me. It's not going into my pocket. My wife and I already put $3 million into the foundation. All my books, they're for you to be able to have access to for free. I don't get a royalty out of them. I don't get a royalty from the foundation. The goal of this is to create another method of learning to help a handful of you that want to go to and make this faster, quicker. Now, let me give you some background. My mom and dad were born in 1930. My dad is 4 days older than Warren Buffett. I had a mini Warren Buffett that taught me about success and money. Now, I'm one of 10 children. My mom and dad were born in 1930. Hitler came to power, started in 1928. There was World War II. They grew up during World War II. They didn't even have 2 nickels to rub together. My mom and dad fell in love in school, started a family. They got married. And my dad is probably the one guy that is, nobody is self-made, but my dad sure started with nothing, neither my mom and dad. And they love children. Both my parents only had 1 sibling, and they had 10 kids. I'm number 7, if you were wondering. But my parents taught me the game. They taught me how to do these things. My dad taught me these things at a very young age. He taught me how to do these things. And some of the stuff I'm going to teach you is not because I figured it out. I'm going to teach you this because my dad taught it to me. My dad taught me these things. Now, he did not have the money that Warren Buffett did, but he still has the same common sense that Warren Buffett had. And the things that Warren Buffett taught are the same things that my dad taught me. Now, I remember an incident once when I was just a teenager, and I was out talking to my dad. My dad had me come help him. We had this little house that was next door to where I grew up, and he'd bought this house, and I was helping him scrape the old paint off the house, because we were going to repaint it. We had some renters in there, and I said, Dad, can I get paid for doing this? And he goes, no, son, get back to work. Well, that wasn't the answer I was looking for. A little while later, I got the gumption. Dad, are you sure I can't get paid for doing this? And he goes, son, we bought this property, so it would create extra income. It would have money to send you kids through college. Now, as an early teen, I didn't really care about college. I wasn't thinking about college. And then he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, son, do you know that some people have so much money that they don't have a job? They make and live off their investments, their businesses. They make money off of their businesses and their real estate and their investments, and they just manage those things. That's all they do. Well, guess what? That's step number 7 in the 7 habits and steps for a successful and wealthy life. This is stuff my dad taught me. So I have these wonderful mentors. My dad was a wonderful mentor. My mom was a wonderful mentor. My parents were compassionate capitalists. My dad was a capitalist because he had to figure out how to feed 10 kids. My mom was very compassionate, and she really, and they were very giving. Both my parents are extremely giving. And they did some amazing things that I want you to do. I want you to model what my parents did. In 1984, my wife and I got married, and it was the same year that my mom and dad and my brother put together a way to start planting money seeds and money trees for the grandkids. Back then, I'm one of 10 kids. In 1984, my parents had 12 grandkids, and they've started investing long-term for the grandkids. Now, flash forward today, both my mom and dad have passed away. But before they did, they had 70 grand and great-grandchildren, and all those children have investment accounts or sub-accounts to get them started. And that money's growing. They planted a money tree for those kids. And as that money goes up, as that tree grows up, when they turn 21, they can take that money for school, go to college. They can use it for a small business, or they can take it out and start investing it. And it's been growing. My parents planted a money tree. The best time to plant a money tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is right now. So my parents taught me these things. Now, I had some stuff that happened to me when I was growing up. As I mentioned, I was born in 1959. I went through school, graduated from high school, served a Christian mission to teach people about Christ. Went to college, fell in love with the girl of my dream. We got married and we started a family. And something happened to me that changed my life forever. When I was 34 years of age, I had a heart attack. I had a heart attack at age 34. And as they were rolling me into that operating room to try and open up that artery, I looked over at my wife and wondered, was I coming back? And if I didn't come back, who was going to take care of these two special needs children of mine? I've got two special needs children who are now adults. Now, I was lucky. 1/3 of the people who have a heart attack die. They're just gone. They're gone. The first sign you got a problem is death. And for some reason, God left me on this earth. And I think it was for two reasons. One is to take care of these special needs kids because they were very young. My son was like 4, but we knew that he had these problems. And number two is to be able to help you. That's why I've been left on this earth. That's why I do what I do, because of God. I believe God gave me the opportunity to be able to do that. Now, I was lucky. Now, I had to make some changes. I had to change a lot of things. Now, one of those things was I really worried about my kids. I really worried about having the finances for my kids. The government's not going to save you. All right? Let's just get that real clear. The government's not going to save you. Nobody's going to save you. The only person that's going to save you is that guy in the mirror that you look at. But guess what? It's just a game. And games are fun. And we're going to have some fun with those games. Now, when I was 34, I had that heart attack. And I knew I had to find a way to be able to take care of these special needs children. You see, previous to that, we had gone to some events to try and find some systems to help my son. My son is on the autism spectrum, and he has some real challenges. And back, and this was like 40 years ago, guys. We found a program that was at the University of California in Los Angeles, UCLA. It was $40,000 just for the program. And we'd have to move to Los Angeles, and I'd have to get a new job. I didn't have the money. Didn't have the money. And I sat down with a mentor of mine, Mr. Robert Allen. I met Robert Allen. He spoke at my university at the executive lecture series. And I said, Bob, I got a problem. I got to figure out how to make some money to take care of this, to get my son into this program. And he gave me some advice. And he said, Tom, I want you to figure out how to make so much money that you can put your child in whatever program you want and never look back and never, ever regret spending the money on him. But it's up to you. You got to go figure it out. I want you to do some real estate. I want you to do multiple streams of income. I want you to do the things that I teach. Now, Robert Allen became a friend of mine. He spoke at the university where I was attending school in the executive lecture series. This was the best class I ever took. And the foundation was created and designed after what I learned in those kind of programs in the executive lecture series when I went to college in the early 80s. And that's what was created today. And so Robert Allen's been a mentor of mine, and he's taught me some wonderful things. He's the best-selling author of Nothing Down, Creating Wealth, Multiple Streams of Income, and he's had an influence all over the world. And he's been a wonderful mentor. My parents were mentors, and then I've sought out on other mentors, and Bob created this wonderful program to teach people about multiple streams of income and finances. And so I went to work. Now, I also had a chance of learning about the systems that Bob did. And because out of pure coincidence, out of pure luck, Bob lived in the same city. He wasn't too far from where I was going to the university. And so I after hearing at the executive lectures, I found out where his office was. And I went to his office, and I went to his office every week for a while, begging for a job. Now, I didn't want a job. I was not looking for a job for a paycheck. I was looking to hang out with somebody that was doing it. See, because what Bob had done is he'd created a system. My dad taught me these things at an earlier age. Bob had created a system, and I wanted to take what I learned from my dad and add more layers and more layers and more layers to it. And I got a chance to do that, and I got a chance to work with Bob because I was young and I could travel with him, and I got a chance to go all over the country with him. And what was amazing was people said, Bob, I know you can do it, but I don't know if the average person could do it. Because Bob had proved that you could buy real estate with little or nothing down. He'd already proven that. The Los Angeles Times sent him to San Francisco, took away his driver's license, credit cards, everything, gave him $100 to survive in San Francisco for 3 days. And with an LA Times reporter by his side, he went out into that marketplace and bought 7 pieces of real estate, all without even a driver's license. He proved that it was possible. I went to his Nothing Down seminar, and the one thing that I learned was that it was possible. Now, going to college, I didn't have the assets. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the credit. I didn't have anything. But what I had was the desire, and I had the desire to go find good deals. Because as we teach you today in this program, it's about finding a good deal. It's not about the money. It's not about those resources. It's about finding a good deal. And so I got a chance to work with him. And I remember being in New York with him. And it was in CNN, the big TV station. And the guy was interviewing and says, well, Bob, you've proven you can buy real estate and you can make money with nothing down, but could the average person do it? And that really kind of upset him because he learned the same way I was learning. He had some mentors, he had some books, and he had some people that taught him. And he said, well, sure, send me to any unemployment line. Let me select somebody that's out of work. Let me take somebody that's out of work. Let me teach them for 2 days. I want somebody with bad credit. I want them out of work and no money. I want to take them and teach them for 2 days. Okay, I want to be able to go teach them for 2 days, and then I want to be able to help them become financially independent. In fact, the goal is I'm going to teach them for 2 days, and in 90 days, they will be off that unemployment line with $5,000 cash in the bank. And the guy says, can you really do that? And Bob says, I don't know, let's go try. And the St. Louis Dispatch, a big newspaper in St. Louis, Missouri, challenged him to do that. And his job was to go into an unemployment line, find some people and teach them how to do this, teach them for 2 days, and then give them 90 days to do it. Now, I happened to be working with him at that time. And I was buying little houses and fixing them up and flipping them. And he was buying a big apartment complexes. And one of my teachers at the university I was attending, one of my favorite teachers, I brought the three of them together and we did that challenge. And we went to St. Louis, Missouri. And I went to the unemployment lines of St. Louis with Bob. And we handed out flyers. We told people about this opportunity. And we told them in order to be part of this, you had to be out of work. You had to have bad credit. And you had to have no money. And if you're interested, we want to be able to talk to you. We had 60 people that showed up to the hotel a couple of days later for a screening process. And the first thing we did was we told them you're going to have to work. You're going to have to go work. And guess what? A big chunk of them just got up and left. Now, we said we're only going to pick a handful of you, about probably one of you, maybe three of you, but we had 60 of you there. A bunch of them just left. We gave them some books and stuff, thanked them for their time, and then we started a screening process, and we gave them problems, and we wanted to find out if they would be denied. We don't care what your talent is. We just care, are you willing to go find a way to make it happen? Will you go out and make it happen? And so we had 6 people that we interviewed. Bob only interviewed 6 of the people. And then we did something very interesting. We told them they all been denied. You're all failed. You all failed. We're not going to take you. And guess what? 3 of them would not be denied. They figured out where we were staying in the hotel and said, even if I'm not chosen to be part of this challenge, I want to sit in the back of the room. Guess what? We chose them because they would not be denied. Whatever it took, they were going to make it happen. They were going to go solve this problem. And we taught 3 people with their spouses. And we taught them for 2 days the principles of wealth. And all that material is in the book called The Road to Wealth. And it's in a course that is in the foundation. Bob is one of our biggest supporters of the successmoneyfoundation.org. And so he, with many of these other authors and entrepreneurs, have gifted these wonderful material because they want to help you to have a better life. And so we taught them for 2 days, and then I was their coach. I coached them over that 90 days. I never saw them face-to-face after that until sometime later, but over that 90 days, I was on the phone with them. Whenever they had a question, I'd talk to them on the phone, and I was just buying little properties at the time. Bob was buying apartment complexes, and Steve and Mary bought the first property, and they made their money on the 89th day, and so they pulled that off. Philip and Nora also did a deal, but it took them just a little bit longer than 90 days, and we wrote a book about it called The Road to Wealth. And originally it was called The Challenge. And there's a whole class just on that you can do. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm going to want to help you take your own challenge. Your goal is to take on your own challenge. Life's a game and games are fun. And we're going to have a game and we're going to do a challenge. And we're going to do this over a 90-day period of time. Now, for many of you, I don't care where you're at. I could care less where you're at financially. All I care about is where you're going. I don't care what it took, why you're where you're at. You just got whatever cards you were dealt. Okay, you were dealt those cards, whatever it is, those are the cards you were dealt. But our goal is to help you have a better life. So we're going to teach you how to discard old cards and get new cards. The more activity you do, the more things you do, the more strategies you do, the more you win. Now, we play games with our grandkids. I've got some granddaughters, twin granddaughters, 11 years of age. Guess what? When we play cards and games, they kick my trash because they know the game. They played the game. They know the secrets. When we play video games, they just, I just get my butt kicked. Why? Because they know the game. Now I'm older. I should know this stuff. I'm smarter than them. I'm going to be 66 here. I should never get beat by my granddaughters. Guess what? They know the game. And as they know the game, they play in the game. And when they play the game, they win. My job is to help you play that game. Now, right now, we're offering a Protege program, and there's a tuition to go to the Protege program. It's a different method of learning. All of you have access to hundreds of hours of online classes. All of you have access to earn money by going to the foundation. All of you have access to this wonderful materials that we have. But I'm looking for a handful of people. Now, what are we going to do? There's a small tuition. It's not even a tuition. It's a donation. We're going to ask you to make a donation to the foundation. Now, my wife and I put $3 million into the foundation. As it makes money, we give that money away. The foundation this year, with organizations that we supported, that we helped, because for every hour we go to class, we're going to donate eyeglasses, we're going to feed someone, or we're going to provide gallons of clean water. We also do a massive amount of work with nonprofits. I'm in the return mode. Learn, earn, and return. I'm returning. That's where I'm spending most of my time. I'm returning the information I know and the money that we've made. And this last year, with all the money we spent through the foundation to build the site, to build the systems for overhead and for all that stuff, plus all the money we gave to students, plus all the money we gave to organizations, we gave around $250,000 away last year. That's the money that went out there. We're making it happen, guys. We got students all over the world, and we're making a difference, and we need your help. Now, the Protege program is very simple. There's going to be a small tuition attached to it. It's a donation. And the donation, the whole goal is for you to get a return on your investment. Now, I don't need your money, but I know that if you pay a little, you're going to pay attention. If you don't pay anything, you're not going to pay any attention. We see that right now. And so I'm looking for a small group similar to what we did in St. Louis to be part of a challenge. And we're going to work very closely with you on that. And when you make a donation, it goes to the foundation. What does that money do? It doesn't go to me. It doesn't go to me. It's not in my pocket. It goes for financial rewards, because we've sent out, our students have earned over $180,000 in financial rewards by going to class and sharing with others. So this is the way that we bring some more money in. It also helps with some of our software and overhead and stuff like that. And we want you to donate, because in the 7 steps, step number 3 is to give. Now, what I'm going to do in this next little section in the Cashflow Clinic and the Protege program is I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, and then you're going to go do it. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, and then you go do it. I'm going to tell you and show you, and then you do it. Success is a series of daily victories. You want to be successful, it's a series of daily victories. It's not doing one thing and then being done. It's not taking some pill or some magic formula or some drink and you're going to be successful. It doesn't work that way. It's a game. And games are fun. And guess what? The day you were born, the day you die, you're in the game. All of you are in the game. I got some good news, I got some bad news, and I got some good news. The good news is that every one of you are going to make, manage, and spend between $1 and $10 million in your lifetime. That's the good news. The bad news is the vast majority of you are going to die broken in debt. Just the fact. Just the fact. But the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. If you'll simply do the 7 steps and habits that successful and wealthy people do, and you do what they do, it will change for you. And again, I'm sorry you didn't learn this earlier. I'm sorry you didn't have a millionaire mentors. I'm sorry you didn't have that in school. I'm sorry that your school teacher didn't teach you this. Guess what? They don't even know. I'm teaching you the system, how it works. Now, in this program, we're going to do a couple things. Number 1, I'm going to tell you. Now I'm going to show you, and then you're going to go do it. And this is a big deal of what we're going to do. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, and then you're going to go do it. So there's a couple things I want you to do. Number 1, I want you to go get one piece of paper. We're going to get one piece of paper. It's going to have 2 sides to it. The system has to be so simple that you can do it on the back of an envelope. It's got to be so simple that you can do it on the back of an envelope. So everybody go grab a piece of paper, and we're going to teach you how to do this on our system. So go get a piece of paper. And we're going to do this on one piece of paper, all right? Get it out of a piece of paper now. Now, that's step number 1. You're going to do this on one piece of paper. We're going to teach you the simplicity of it, and you're going to do it on one piece of paper. Number 2 is then it's going to go and convert to one piece of, then you're going to manage your money on one piece of paper. You're going to go manage that money on one piece of paper. And number 3 is then we're going to add layers to it. We're going to add layers and layers and layers of what we're doing. All right, so here's what it is. Now, I want all of you to be able to do this. And again, you've heard this before. This is not new. This is very similar, but it's about doing it on a daily basis. So now there's 7 steps. So the first thing is we're going to do this on one piece of paper. Then number 2 is we're going to convert it to one piece of paper where you're going to manage your money on one piece of paper after that. So you're going to have 2 pieces of paper. And then number 3 is we're going to add layers and layers and layers. And we're going to go deep, 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 deep. So step number one is you need to learn how to make more money. You need to learn how to make more money. Everyone is going to make, manage, and spend between $1 and $10 million in your lifetime. That's the good news. The bad news is that most of you are going to die broken in debt. But you're going to make that. Number 2, you need to separate it. You need to separate that money. Number 3, you want to give. We want you 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 to give. Number 4, and again, I want you to write this down every day. Every day, I want you to build this form out. I want you to build this form out because that's what we're doing. Number 4 is to automatically invest. It's got to be automatic. It's got to be automatic. And then number 5 is to save and spend. Now, those are the 5 steps. Make more money, separate it, give, automatically invest, and then save and spend. Now, if you'll do those 5 things, you can become financially independent. And most people, that's all they're going to do. They're going to do those 5 things. But if you want to be wealthy, we need to add 2 more steps. Number 6, we need to add real estate and business. We need to add real estate and business. This will help you to become wealthy. My wife and I made over $10 million in profit in real estate, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. We've made millions and millions of dollars in businesses. My business has done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. But number 6, you got to add real estate. All of you need to have a home. All of you need to make extra money with your business. Number 6 will help you make you wealthy. And number 7 is the wealth formula. Number 7 is the wealth formula. That's the 7 steps right there. The wealth formula, you need to take money from your job. You need to take money from your business. You need to take money from your real estate. Oh, does this sound familiar? This is what my dad taught me when I was a teenager. And we need to put that money away. You need to put money away into its accounts, its separate accounts. Step number 4, you got to invest. Number 4. And we need to do that, and then we need to have it go up in value. Your money can't be sitting in a savings account at 0% and expect to get anywhere. You've got to have your money go up in value. Times time. This is going to take a while. That equals wealth. And that's what we want. Now, what we want more importantly is we want generational wealth. We want generational wealth. We want this wealth to go down to the next generation. Now, this is what my dad taught me when I was out there helping him fix the little house that was next door to us. That's the 7 steps, the wealth formula. And that's what we've done. And so now the wealth has been transferred to our kids. Now, our goal is to take you through these 7 steps. And now I want all of you to be able to put that on a piece of paper. Number 1, make more money. 2, separate it. 3, give. 4, automatically invest. And 5, save and spend. Number 6 is to add real estate and businesses. And then number 7 is the wealth formula. That fits on one piece of paper. Now you're going to flip that paper over because the first thing we got to do is a bucket list. What's on your bucket list? Bucket list first, then the 7 steps and habits. What's on your bucket list? Why were you put on this earth? Why are you here? Why are you here? What is the purpose of you being here? What's on your bucket list? And then number 2 is, then we're going to do the 7 steps. Now, I've already taught you the simple 7 steps, so let's go on the bucket list. So on that back side of that first paper is what's on your bucket list. We're going to take a few minutes right now. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you, and then you go do it. So what's on your bucket list? What are the things that you want to do? Now, this is what Warren Buffett taught me. You're going to write down a whole bunch of things, 10 or 15 things in each of these categories. And then We're going to concentrate on 3 of them, maybe 5 of them. And then we can change that and do that bucket list again. So this is what we kind of call a mind map. And a mind map is, this is my bucket list, BL, bucket list. Now, every day, every week, you're going to go review this stuff. So what's on your bucket list? What are the things you want to have? What are the places you want to go? Okay, what are the things you want to have? What are the things that, where do you want to be able to go? Do you want to travel? Do you want to go see the world? Okay, get out your paper. What do you want to have? Where do you want to go? What are the things you want to do? So what are the things you want to have? What are the things that you guys want to have? Well, what are the things I want to have is I want to have a home. How many of you want to have a home? How many would like that free and clear so you don't have any payments on it? How many would like a free and clear home? I would. Okay, how many would like to have an investment account? Okay, how many would you like to have people sending you money? How would you like to have some royalties on rents? How many would like a new car? Okay, so what are the things you want to have? So these are the things you want to have. Spend a minute and I want you to write these down on that second side of the paper. What are the things you want to do? Tell me about your home. How many bedrooms? How many baths? What's the square footage? What's the square meters of the home? Where is it? Can you take pictures of it? Have you seen it before? Are you in that home? Now, my wife and I have been in about 14 properties, and every home was a fixer-up. We fixed it up, sold it, and made money on it. Fixed it up, sold it, made money on it. Fixed it up, and now we're in our dream home, and the next place for us is probably a rest home or even a casket, because we're in our dream home. We're happy with where we're at. So I want you to look at that. I want you to write those things down, okay? In your investment account. Do you have an investment account? Do you have a retirement account? And how much money is in it? How much money is in it? What is your net worth? What are you worth? Do you have royalties coming in from different things? Do you have rents coming in? Do you have profit from your businesses coming in? What are the things that you have? And we're going to build all that out, and you're going to write those down. Now, in addition to that, you're going to come down here to go. Where do you want to go? I've been to 50 countries. I've been around the world multiple times. I went around the world this way, and I went around the world that way, and I went around the world this way, all over the place. I've been to 50 countries. I've seen just about everything I want to see. Okay. I've been all over the world, and travel is awesome. What do you want to do? What do I want to do? I want to create a foundation. That's what's left on my bucket list. I've done all this. I've done all this. I've taken care of my kids. My kids are set. Everybody's set. The net worth's all set. The money's coming in. My money's making me more money. I'm doing this. I am doing this right there. That's me right there. I'm doing the wealth formula. And all these things right here, I don't have a job anymore. My job is to work in the foundation. My businesses, my real estate, and my investments make us enough money that's how we live. All right? That's how we live. And that's how my special needs kids are going to live. But what's on my bucket list? Well, some of you want to travel. Where do you want to go? Well, I've been all over the world, but I want you to write down, where do you want to go? What are the cities you want to see? You want to go to Europe? You want to go to Asia? You want to walk on the Great Wall of China? Okay, I want to go to Italy. I want to go to the Colosseum. I want to go to Rome. I want to go I want to see the Colosseum. I want to see the Vatican. Okay, where do you want to go? Write those things down. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? And then what do you want to do? What do you want to be known for? When you check out of this life, when they put that last digit on your headstone, what's in the middle of that? If they could do a little scan, a little QR scan, and it pulls up your life and it shows you all the stuff you've done, what have you done? The day you're born, the day you die, and everything in between. What is it you want to do? And what kind of a family do you want? Tell me about your family. So step 1, bucket list first, then the 7 steps. Bucket list first, then the 7 steps. So you've gone through the 7 steps. Now we've got the bucket list. So now, after that, we want to go deep. We want to be able to go deep. And when we go deep, what we want to do is we want to manage all this on one piece of paper. We want to be able to manage this all on one piece of paper. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you to the site where you're going to go do things. So we're going to go here to the successandmoneyfoundation.org. Okay, we're going to go to the successandmoneyfoundation.org. And here we are. Here's the successandmoneyfoundation.org. And again, Success and Money Foundation, we're a nonprofit foundation. Our goal is to help you to have a better life. We hit 170,000 hours. We have classes for you to be able to go through. Our mission is to help other people. And you can earn financial rewards by simply going to online classes and sharing with others. And we do this as a fun group, and this is who we are, and this is what we do. But when you go there, the next thing is I want you to be able to go to courses. So this is the next part. I want you to be able to go to courses. Now, all of you should get a free membership. Simply go to register, log in, make sure that you're logged in, and then you're going to go to courses. Now, here's all the different ways that you can earn money, because mission number 2 is to help you when you go to online classes and you share with others. So as you go through these different classes, you're going to earn money. You're going to earn Buffett bucks. and then our goal is to get that money to you and get that into your investment account. That's step number 4. Okay. Now, in addition to that, in the system we're talking about now is we want to be able to download your game plan. Second piece of paper, it's got to be able to fit on one piece of paper. Your 7 steps and habits got to fit on one piece of paper. So you're going to click here, and then you're going to come right here to click here to download. And you're going to download this program, and then you're going to start managing all this money on one piece of paper. Now, one of the things that we've done on here is I've already got one of these created for me. And so this is what it's going to look like when you get there. Okay. So that's what the page is going to look like. And so now here's the 7 steps. Oh my gosh, does it look familiar? So you're going to go there, you're going to download it, you're going to make a copy of it, and then you can personalize it for your own use. All right, so I just did that. I went in, I downloaded it, and I started putting some stuff in here. So now you're going to manage your money on one piece of paper. We're going to do all 7 steps on one piece of paper. And then we're going to add layers and layers and layers and layers and layers. If you can't manage your money on one piece of paper, and if you can't manage your money at all, then how are you going to manage your real estate? How are you going to manage your investments? How are you going to manage your money? And again, the bank doesn't want you to know this. They want you just to give them their money and let them take your money and do whatever they want with it. But step number one is you got to make more money. So right here, after you do that, step number 1. So here's my job, and here's my spouse's job, and here's my side hustle. The goal is to have the money equal the money out. All right? The money in equals the money out. So step number 1 is to make more money. Number 2 is to separate it. Number 3 is to give some of it away. Sound familiar? Number 4 is to automatically invest. Now, when we add more layers, we're going to talk about 2 things, your investment accounts and your retirement accounts. Okay, but this is automatically invest. You're going to loan or own. I'm going to teach you the simplicity of that, and I'm going to tell you what not to do. Now, step number 5 is to save and spend. Here's your fixed expenses. I got a house, I got a mortgage on the house or rent. I've got some utilities. I got a credit card payment that I'm making right now. And I think our payment right here is a little bit smaller as we're getting this thing started. Okay, good. And so you can see here's our money in, money out. I've got some school debt and I've got some family loans. The goal is to be able to get all of this money to wherever it needs to be able to go. All right, so money in, money out. So this is something you're going to be working on. If you'll do these 5 steps and your whole goal, if all you did was figured out how to get more money into your long-term investment account and then let it grow, you can become financially independent. The challenge with that is we want you to be wealthy. We want you to have a lot of money, okay? Because we want you to do a lot of really great things. So make money, separate it, give it, automatically invest. Here is our save and spend. There's our fixed expenses, and then here is our variable expenses. Now, the variable expenses, and we're going to move some of this money around, but here's how it works. Let's say that the variable, dad's got 500, mom's got 500, we got money for the kids. Those numbers right there go up here and fill in these sets right up here. So we're going to pace you. We're going to pace you with your variable expenses. So there's that $500 dad's got, and look, there's the money that's going down. And the goal is that if you're here and you are maybe down here, for example, and right now you've already spent, almost $50, and it happens to be January, the 5th day of the month, January the 5th, guess what? You're spending your money too fast. You're spending your money too fast. All right? Your money's going faster than the month. And so each of these things are a thermometer. And the goal is to run out of month before you run out of money. So if we're coming down here and it is the 13th of the month, and you've only spent $100 here, and you spent $150 here, you spent like $50 here. Wherever you are, the goal is to have the month run out before the money runs out. That's how we're going to pace yourself. So the first thing is, this is a budget. Money in equals money out, and then we're going to make some changes to it. That's the first step. Now, step 6 and 7 is the most important part. We want to add real estate, and we want to add our business here. And so these are separated. They're on a separate piece of paper. We are going to live our life off the money we're making out of our job. In addition to that, we have some real estate with income and expenses, what kind of profits we're going to make. That's going to go onto a separate page. But here's your to-do list of stuff you want to do. Step 7 is the key. And again, this is your before picture. This is your before picture. This is where you're at. And now we want to be able to go make some changes to that. So here's your before picture. And here's your home. Let's say that you got a 500,000. I don't care if this is dollars, yuan, pesos, whatever it is, but you've got a car. This is your net worth. What is your net worth? Your net worth is your assets minus any loans. Now, in this particular case, we've got a house, and we're going to say it's worth 500,000 something. And we have a car and we have a computer. So our net worth is 527,000, but we owe money. We owe money. And so right now we've got a credit card, and the credit card, what we're going to do is we're going to list these with the smallest amount first. And in this particular case, we say we've got a $2,000 debt on our credit card. It's 21%. We're paying the minimum of $40 a month, and it's going to take 10 years to pay that off. We're going to pay $2,700 in interest. Now, first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that credit card and we're going to go exchange it for a new credit card with a lower interest rate. We're going to drop that interest rate from 21% down to 8%, and then we're going to increase the payment. Now, if we do that, our goal is to get that first. So this is how our get out of debt plan. We're going to list the smallest to largest, and then we're going to kill the first one. We're going to kill it, and then we're going to take that extra money and we're going to roll it to that next area. So in this particular case, we're going to get a new credit card. You don't have to get a new credit card if you don't want to. You just got to go make a bigger payment. So in this case, we're going to say we're going to increase our payment up to $700. And you can see if we did that, we could pay that baby off in 3 months. So now I need extra money. So we're going to come back up here, and for our credit card debt, we're going to change that up to 700. And that means that the miscellaneous number is going to go down. Okay, can you see how this is all working? So this is our plan. This is our plan of what we're going to do. We have different things on here. We've got a school debt. And here's our school debt right there. So the first thing is to kill this first one and get that done. We can do that in 3 months, and we're going to save $2,700 in interest. Then the next thing is to go after the next debt, and the next debt, and the next debt, eventually paying off your house, paying off your loans, paying off your cars. And so you're out of stupid debt. Stupid debt is when you're making the payments. Smart debt is when somebody else is making those payments for you. So this is your before picture. So you're going to fill this out. You're going to print it. You're going to put one in your pocket. And you're going to give your wife one, and you're going to be on the same plan. Marriage divorce does not happen because of the lack of money. Divorces happen because the two of you are not, and your family's not on the same plan. You're not on the same plan. So now you're going to print that. Now, the next step is we're going to convert that, and we're going to put our plan into place. So let's get into that right now. Our goal here is to get you to that next place. So we're going to flip back here to our doodle. We're going to have some fun doodling again here. All right, so now what we're going to do is, remember the 7 steps? Now we're going to go into depth. We're going to go into depth, and now this is how we're going to add layers. 1, bucket list. 2, 7 steps. 3, we're going to get that on one piece of paper. 4, we're going to add layers to it. And then 5, we're going to continue to work on that list, and we're going to start paying off the debts, and we're going to start doing the 7 steps. So step number 1, we need to make more money. You're going to do that with your job, but you're also going to have a small business. Now, many of you have both of those. You have a spouse, or you have a job, and you're making some money with your small business. If you want to be successful, you need to do 3 things. You need to study successful people. Number 2, you need to solve problems. Everybody runs away from problems. We run towards problems. And number three, you need to add value. So that is the first thing you've got to do is you've got to study successful people. We have hundreds of hours of online classes. You need to hang out with successful people. You need to be mentored by successful people. And there's different methods of learning for that and different methods for that. But that's step number one. Number two is you need to separate it. You need to get that on one piece of paper. You need to manage your money on one paper. And then you need to add to it. Number three, I want you to give. I want you to be able to give 5 to 10% of your time, your energy, or your money, whatever that is. You need to do some of that. That's your next volume. As we add more to this, more to this, more to this. Givers get. Most of you are thinking the last thing I want to do is give away my money. Well, the reality is that the people that are the most successful are the ones that are the biggest givers. It just happens that way. They're the biggest givers. So we want you to be able to do that. Number four is to automatically invest. Now, right now, we're going to talk mostly about the stock market. All right. So there's 4 ways to do the stock market. You can pick and choose. But if you pick and choose, you lose. We're not going to do that. When you're smarter than Warren Buffett and smarter than the 500 biggest companies in America, they're global, then you can pick and choose. Now, part of your asset allocation is you can take some of that if you want. 100% of your stock, you can take 10% of that and pick and choose if you want. Now, I've traded probably $15 million in stock. And that's fun. I did a lot of that. And then after it was all said and done, I figured out that Warren Buffett and his team was smarter than I was, and that the 500 biggest companies in America are smarter than me, so I just give them the money. All right, the second one is a mutual fund. And a mutual fund is where you hire somebody to be able to manage it for you. The only problem is it's going to cost you between 1% and 2%. So they call that money under management. Now, you're never going to see that stuff. You're never going to see the money that they charge you. They're just going to take it away from you. You're never going to see it. But a mutual fund is where you're hiring somebody to pick and choose the stocks for you. The next one is an index. And this is the 500 S&P. This is the 500 biggest companies in America. The difference is that the fee is very low. Why? Because they're not picking and choosing. They're just taking the 500 biggest companies and they're consolidating that together, and the fee is very low. And the last one, my favorite, is Berkshire Hathaway, BRK.B. Okay? And the reason I like that one so much, that's Buffett and his team. Now, Warren Buffett built a team that built Berkshire Hathaway. Walt Disney did not build Disneyland. Walt Disney and Roy Disney built a team that built Disneyland. Steve Jobs did not build the iPhone. Steve Jobs and Tim Cook built a company that built the iPhone. That's why it's generational. Okay? But there's very little cost. There's a small commission. So if all these return the same amount, if they all make 8%, and on average, long term, this is about 8 to 9% over time. How long does it take to double in value? 6 to 7 years. Okay? Rule of 72. But the fees are so much lower. So this one outperforms. This is number 1, this is number 2, and this is number 3. And this one we don't even do. So you're going to loan or own. You're going to loan versus own. Okay, when you loan money, you're putting that into bonds. Okay, you're putting that bonds and you're getting a rate of return. You're getting 5% rate of return. And it's just stagnant. It's just straight. When you own, you're owning these things kind of here with crypto and stocks and stuff like that. But if I was taking 100% of that portfolio, I would probably take 10% and put it there so you'll have it. And I'd probably take 40% and 40% there and there. That would be some of my allocation. And I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm telling you what to do with our money. But that's why we give away our Buffett bucks. Number 5 is to save and spend. Your job is to figure out how to get 10 to 15% of that income into there. Your money that's coming into here, 1, you got to make more money. Because number 2 is you got to fund this baby. Our goal is to get as much money into there as you possibly can. And if you don't do number 6 and 7, that's okay. You've just got to make sure you're doing number 4. Okay. And that is the simplicity stuff. Now we're going to add more stuff to that. But this is where we're at so far. Number 5, you're going to manage on one piece of paper. And you're going to do that religiously. And you're going to print it, and you're going to put it in your pocket, and you're going to take it with you. And when you spend money, your thermometer's going down. And you're going to figure out how to play the game so you can get as much money into step 4 as you can. Now, let's talk about number 6. We need to add real estate and business. So let's start with real estate. There are 5 F's. You need to find good deals. You need to fund it. Now, it doesn't have to be your money. When you're funding and doing deals, it doesn't have to be your money. It just has to. This is the hardest thing right there, to find a good deal. There's money everywhere. You're sitting at the dentist's office and he's drilling your teeth. Hey, dude, I found it. I found this great deal. He's got money. He just hasn't got time because he's a dentist. You need to fund it. You need to control it. It doesn't mean you got to have money. You just have to control it. Okay? Number 3 is you need to fix what's wrong with it. That could be the property or the person. What we want to do is find wonderful properties that have person problems. People are getting divorced. They're moving. Whatever it is, we need to fix the problem. I bought properties off people I've never met because they bought it, they moved, they got a new job, they moved to a different city, and they were just gone. Number 4 is we need to either flip, or 5 is to farm. Those are the 5 F's to real estate. Now, as you're doing real estate, I'm going to give you a couple things that you need to do. Number 1, you need to own real estate. You need to own your own home. Now, what's the problem with your own home? Who's paying the debt? Who's the schmo making the debt payment? Okay, that's you. You're paying it. But one of the great things about it is that there's some tax benefits and there's appreciation. They go up in value. Why does real estate go up in value? Because the governments of the world can't balance their budget. So what do? They print more money. They just keep printing money. They keep printing money, and they keep printing money. So that makes everything worth less. If there was 10 apples, there's 10 apples here, and there's $10. And then the government, every apple's worth $1. 1 equals 1. But if the government prints another $10 on top of it, now there's 20. Every apple costs you 2. That's inflation. If you own apples, it's wonderful because you're making money. With appreciation, we appreciate it. But if you're buying apples, you're getting squeezed and you're getting screwed because you don't have the ability to keep up with these governments that can't balance their dang budget. The United States government is borrowing and losing $1 to $2 trillion a year now. Their budget's their loan is $37 billion. Trillion, sorry. So T, it's not even a B. So we've got to fix that. So that's what you're going to do. Now, one of the biggest things you're going to do is you're going to do owner financing. I'm going to give you a couple quick little deals that I did. One of the first properties I bought 40 plus years ago, and I'm going to use real numbers on here, the value is $80,000. Now, you can add a 0 to that. You can make it $800,000. You can make it $8 million. It doesn't matter. It's the percentages that I want you to understand. I bought it for $60,000. The seller bought it for $30,000, and he thought he was getting a great deal. I learned value. Until you understand value, everything is worthless. So you've got to learn value. Now, I didn't have that much money, so I gave him $5,000 as a down. I still owe him $55,000. I said, I can go to the bank and get you this money, but when I do, you're going to have to pay taxes on all of it. Well, he didn't like that. What did he want? He wanted the monthly payments. So I agreed to make him payments of $591 for 15 years at 10% interest. And guess what? Over the lifetime of that loan, I paid him $51,000 in interest. Now you're saying, oh, that's a lot. I paid him $51,000 in interest, and I paid him $55,000 for the loan. I paid him $106,000. He loved that. He wanted the payments. Owner financing, I made him the payments. I didn't go to the bank. I made payments to him. Now, what was the advantage to him? He didn't get whacked on taxes. Number two is he got all this interest. Now, why was this good for me? Because I had rental income. Now, this is you're going to laugh when you see this, but the rental income was a plus. I got rents. Guess who paid off my loans for me? The renters. This was smart debt. The renters paid it for me. Who's paying the payment? If you go get a whole bunch of loans to go to college, then you become a music teacher. It's not getting a return on your investment. That's stupid debt. We need smart debt. We need somebody else to pay it. So I bought the property. The rent came in. That made the payments on it. And over a period of time, that $60,000 property, over 40 years, I sold it for $400,000. $400,000 because it went up in value. And guess what? I donated that to the foundation. You want to know where the foundation got its $3 million? Well, part of that was from this property right here that I did. And I did this in 1982, 40 plus years ago. Now you're thinking, well, that's not that big a deal. But guess what? I did that again and again and again. And I did that. I'd buy a property. It was $250,000. I bought them with nothing down. I bought 7 properties with nothing down. And what I did is I made payments to the owner. So basically, we came up with a very small down payment, if anything, and then I made payments on the loans to the owner over a period of time. So I made payments to the owner. And guess what? Over a period of time, those properties went from $250,000 to $500,000. That's the value. They went up in value. Number two is the loans were at $250,000 on the loan. Guess what? Over time, they went down to zero. And guess who made the payments? Guess who made the payments? The renters gave me enough money to make the payments. So what's my value? What's my equity? What's my profit? My profit's $500,000. I bought them for $250,000. They went up in value to $500,000. The loans went to zero. I made $500,000 on each property. Guess what? I had 20 of them. That's how I made $10 million. It was with real estate. And by having other people do it. We farmed these. This was the fifth F. We farmed them. And guess what we did? Is we took $3 million of that and we gave it to the foundation. And that's how the foundation was funded. Hang on, I got to put another zero here. And I did that. And that's how we gave the money to the foundation. We did that with real estate and with stock with my companies. And Berkshire Hathaway. That's where we got the money. That's where we got the money to be able to do it. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to find it. You're going to flip it. You're either going to make profits on the flipping them or you're going to farm them. Okay. Now, business. Are you working on your business or are you working in the business? If you're working in it, that means you have a job. That's step number one. You might have a job, but if you're working in it, then that's that. Business, you're working on it. Do you have other people doing it? Have you created systems so they're doing it? There's only 3 things you can do in your business. Number 1, you can get more customers. Number 2, you can get them to buy more often. And number 3, you can get them to buy more every time they buy. Those are your 3 levers right there. If you got a business, you got to find more customers, but that's where most people stop. Number 2 is you got to get them to buy more often. If they buy every week, versus once a year, and you get them to buy more, that's powerful. If you have a customer, and let's say that we have one customer, and what he buys on usual is he buys, we're just going to use 10 for that. The total revenue is 10. But if we can get him to buy 4 times on that, now our revenue is 40. And if we can have him buy, instead of just doing that many times, we want him to buy more. We're going to get 4, but now he's going to spend 20. That's 80. We're taking our revenue from 10 all the way up to 80. That's how you make more money. That's how you make more money. Now, there are classes that we have in the Protege program we're going to go into deep detail, and we're going to do it together as a group, just like we did in St. Louis. And you're going to meet with us on a weekly basis. Okay. And then number 7, we're going to look at your investments, the wealth formula. And we're going to put this into the spreadsheet. We're going to put this into the software. And our goal is to increase your rate of return. Our goal is to increase your rate of return. You're putting money in right now. We want to increase that rate of return. And then what we want to do is we want to be able to figure out how to shorten the time. Okay, if you want to make a lot more money, you got to put more money in. We got to make more money up here. Then we got to get it to go up. We need to go up at a higher rate of return. And then if you want to get your fortune, well, the more time you have, the greater. But if you want to do this faster, then we just have to increase these 2 things. All right, so now let's talk about the Protege program and what we're trying to create here. First of all, congratulations, you got a free membership. You have membership to the Success Money Foundation. We're thrilled, we're happy that you're part of what we're doing. The Protege program is designed to be very similar to what we did in St. Louis when we took those people out of the unemployment line. The purpose is to work and do something over a 90-day period of time. So this is what we're looking for in the Protege program. And again, you don't need to do this. Many of you are on your track. You don't need us. It doesn't really matter. You're already there. The goal is to make $5,000. That's the goal in as little as 90 days. Now, some of you, it might take 180 days. Some of you might make more than that. You might $10,000 in that time frame. I don't care if it takes you a year, because once you learn the system, you're going to be doing this the rest of your life. You're going to be doing these systems. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer because the rich are doing things on a daily basis that the poor are not. They get their money working for you. They're playing the game and they're making this game work. So the Protege program, the goal, that's your goal. Now, if you could do this, and let's just say, for example, that you could make $5,000 and you could do that in 90 days, and you do that for 4 times in a year, your goal is to make $20,000. I don't care if that's yuan, I don't care, whatever that is. You could do that. You could do that. And then what are we going to do with that? We're going to get that done in step number 7. That's the goal. Now, I don't care if it took you 4 years. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it took you 4 years. But the goal is to be able to make this huge difference. Now, let me talk to you about the Protege program and what it is. We have multiple methods of learning. And then again, the Protege program is designed for a handful of you that want to work closely with us in a more advanced basis. Now, this is a donation from you. Okay? If you pay a little, you're going to pay attention. If you don't pay anything, you're not going to pay any attention. That's just the fact. And the money doesn't go to me. It's not going in my pocket. It goes for financial rewards. It goes to be able to do more advertising. It goes for software and things like that. I already put the $3 million into it. And last year, overall, we gave around $250,000 out to build the systems and stuff like that, and to give money away to individuals and organizations. But here's the Protege program. The Protege program is a 12-week intensive group that meets on a weekly basis. And that valued is $5,000. There's one for a partner. So this is your partner, a family member, a business partner, a child, or something like that. And if you were to get that, it'd be $5,000. We have software that you're going to use. It's $1,000. You're going to get priority hot seats. That means we're going to analyze your deals together, and we're going to do a strategy sessions, and that's another $5,000. You want to know what this stuff is really worth? This is a strategy session with Tom and his team. If you were to buy this stuff and you said it's $21,000, that's the value on it. Now, if you took you 4 years to get that money back, would it be worth it? Absolutely, because you are going to make this kind of money over a long period of time. Again, we're looking for a small group of people, but we're asking you to donate some money to the foundation so we can give more money away. So that's what the value is. And again, if it took you 1 year, it took you 5 years, it doesn't matter as long as you learn how to do it, because you're going to be doing this the rest of your life. You're going to be doing this for 20, 30 years. But the Protege program, we're going to create a Protege program that's a little bit different. You're not going to pay $20,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 or even $1,000. For what we call the Protege Plus, it's just going to be $997, and that's a donation. And that gets you two people right there. It gets you, gets a partner, it gets the software, it gets the hot seats and the strategy session with Tom and team. And if you want to do that, we're just going to ask you to make a donation of that amount of money. Now, some of you, wherever you are, that's not appropriate for you. You're not there yet. Generals talk to generals, lieutenants talk to lieutenants, and most of you are not there yet. Some of you, there's a small percentage of you there that want to be part of that. Okay, so that is the Protege program, and that's about $1,000 to be able to get into it. Now, in addition to that, we have what we call just a regular Protege. Some of you don't have a partner. Some of you don't have the means to do that. And what that is that's a 12-week session for you, software. It gets you the 12-week session for you, gets you software, it gets you the priority, and it gets you the strategy sessions. But it's for one person. One person. This one up here is for two. Protege Plus. That's for two people. And if you want to do that one, you can do that one. And it's $497. Your strategy session's not with me, though. It's with just a member of my team. After you get everything into the 7 steps, then but that's a team member. And if you want to do that, you can do that. And again, that's perfect. The other one is you need a scholarship. And some of you are saying, I'd love to do that, but I need a scholarship. And so we'll create a scholarship for you. So you can even do that. Now, here's the deal with the scholarship. If we're going to give you a scholarship of some amount of money, when you make money, we're going to ask you to give that money. We're going to ask you to pay back and donate more back to the foundation. So if you come in here with this one right here, for example, and you get a scholarship, I don't care for how much it is. Let's say it's, just as much as $200. When you are successful, we're going to ask you to, that's the scholarship, so you're going to pay $297. When you're successful, we're going to ask you to donate that additional amount later. Okay, we're going to get you in here, we're going to get you started, we're going to figure out where that money is, and then when you are making money, we're going to ask you to donate that money. And that's basically on the Protege with a scholarship. Now, all of you have access to the Success Money Foundation. All of you have access to be able to go into these different classes. And we're excited for you to be able to do that. So that's the Protege program. And again, there's a very small group of you. There's a very small group of you this is appropriate for. When we did the unemployment line challenge, we had 60 people that raised their hand. We only took 3. So it's a very small group. And again, we want to go in deeper, faster, and go much more deeper. So that is the Protege program. If that's appropriate for you, then there will be a link that you can be able to click on and say, hey, I'm interested in being part of that Protege program. And again, it's a donation. It doesn't go to me. It's not going into my pocket. It's just another method of learning. And we're going to take that and we're going to give more money away to students. My goal is to give away millions, millions and millions of dollars. And so this is one of the ways that we do that. So this is Tom Payer for the SuccessMoneyFoundation.org. Make a difference, make it happen. And remember that every life is precious. If you're interested in working with us in the Protege program, thanks. Click on the link. Let's talk. Let's figure out how to get you into it. Let's get you out there and make a difference.